everyone, welcome to Weekend Project again, or two. Not sure how Pop's working that out, but we were talking about panels, and this is one I have been wanting to do since I picked up the bolt from Northcott. It is a beautiful purple tree. It's from Artisan Shimmer Fabric, and I love it. I also have some of the gold fabric from the same line that I'm going to border it out with. So this is the panel. I did trim it down so none of the white was there. It was just the outline of the panel. So 23 by 43 is what it came out to be. I went and put a 1 1/4. That's what the black is here, 1 1/4, little border all the way around it. And now I'm going to put the gold border around that, okay? And then you're thinking, okay, well, why? You're just bordering up a panel. No, we're actually going to cut it. This is what we're going to do. If I can just get my art book up here. There we go. Okay? So we're going to cut it in 4 spots. Down the panel to break it up, and in those spots is going to be a strip of this fabric here. Okay, I've got 3 made. I need to make a 4th, and that's how I am building out this panel. So I will give measurements and instructions. Oops, sorry, thank you. And this will be my pattern, I guess, because I just got inspiration from a picture from a Northcott website. So, and then I just went from there and made it my own. So I really liked it, and I think it would do really some justice to this panel by kind of breaking it up a little bit, you know. So why not? You got a panel at home, you're not sure what to do with it? This is what we can do, okay? So here's our 4th strip. We need to add a 1 1/4 to this 2 inch on both sides, okay? So it's 1 1/4 on both sides of this 2 inch, and that'll give us this nice strip here, right here, okay? So let's do that one real quick. Finish up the 4th one, and we'll give it a press, and then we'll put the border on this side and this side, and then we'll do the top and the bottom, press, do some cutting, and then add these strips in between those pieces, okay? So it's easy. We got this. This is probably really like an easy project. Now, in here, in this panel is where I chose. There is gold in here. That's why I chose the gold shimmer part of it, because it also is part of the whole line. But there's also like some light blue, some lavenders, some really dark purples. There's quite a combination. So this tone in here could have been many different ones from this whole collage of color. If you had like an animal print or like the zoo collage or something else going on, you could pick any color or pick 4 different colors. I think that would be neat as well. Like maybe go red, green, blue, yellow or something like that. Like, or, you know, cut the panel in 2. If you have a small panel, just do 2. You know, and then bulk it out and bulk it out. So I'm just lining this up. We're going to trim this anyways because the panel, the width of it is only going to be maybe 40 inches, and this is going to end up, these 2 bits here are going to be about 43-ish. So we're going to trim anyways. So we're just going to sew down one side and then sew down the other and give a press, okay? And of course we're going to press to the dark side. Press to the dark side! If Nomi says so. He was working just fine. Oh, Nomi, what's wrong with you, Nomi? You got a little bee in your bonnet, Nomi? All right, let's reload. Do we know this? It's just the routine of sewing machines and the way they behave, whether they're, you know, $100 or $10,000. They're just, you know, tootinal. Because they can be. All right, so that is the top. Reloaded, and I'm gonna make sure I do the bottom because that's just making sure I'm eliminating. Okay, let's do this. Pop the plate. This. Actually, I got a couple of dust bunnies down there. Let's get those out of there. Oh, holy moly. Maybe that might be part of the issue. You gotta make sure you get in there and clean them out, you know. Dust bunnies don't really want to hang out in your sewing machine. Not really. Okay. All right, much better. Much better than what it was. And most times, a little drop of oil right down in the center there of your machine does it a world of good. You know, do that, you know, but I use mine a lot. So if I were probably to follow manufacturer instructions, I'd be doing it every day. That's because I put Nomi through his paces, don't I, buddy? All right, put that there. and there. So I got a bit of elastic. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Back to start number 2. Fold this out of the way. Okay, yeah, make sure I got the plate on. Yep, gotcha, Bob. Let's go. Alright. Only a slight delay in the process of the weekend. So I guess you can call either the block of the month the bonus project or this one the bonus project. You know, pick and choose. I don't care. Fight amongst yourselves. I'm kidding. Oops. Sorry. I apologize. I should have put that down right away. And of course, I just pulled from my scraps, have black left over from the Jacob's Ladder we did for the live streams for the past 3 weeks. And some purple. You seen this purple? It went into the Purple Lone Star, Scrappy Purple Lone Star quilt. Just trying to make sure I had enough to do just a bit. You just need a tiny bit to separate these panel pieces, okay? You don't need huge, massive chunks of, 6 inches or something like that. And I probably could have good English, did a little smaller than the 2 inches for the center and maybe even for the black. But for my comfortability of sewing said pieces, oh, there we go, 1 1/4 is fine with me, and I don't feel like I'm going to get frustrated with it, right? So, all right, coming back all the way up to the top and doing the other side, okay? Lining this piece up and going down the other side of that little purple strip of fabric. And I did think of gray, but I thought, what, pull out a little bit purple. Pull a little bit more purple out. And this has got some almost like a tie-dyed sort of texture color to it. So that really breaks up the bunch of flowery bits in the tree of life. So I think that's what it's called, or shimmer tree or something. I have more of these panels. If anybody's interested, just contact me via our webpage, wesewit.ca, wesewit.ca, and they are $10 Canadian each. And of course, you'll have to pay for shipping and all the other doodad stuff. But if you're interested in one of these very beautiful purple panels, let me know. There you go, okay. Oh, you got a little weird over there. You saw that? Actually, I heard it more than saw it. Let's try and reload the bottom again here. Seems a little wonky. What's going on? Are you having a day, Nomi? Okay, let's go back to where it was all crazy-wazy. Go back over that. Because we don't want that to be a weak spot. No, we don't. We don't want that to be a weak spot in our stitching or in our quilt. Okay. There's our 4th piece or section done. Okay, so I'm going to press that, and then we're going to add these gold borders to either side of this, and we will press, and then when we measure for the top parts for the border, and then we will cut those and sew them on and press, and then we will cut. The cut is kind of saved to the very last, really. So sometimes you just gotta do things differently. Alright, beautiful. I like this purple and the black together. It's quite lovely. Quite lovely. Okay, so there's my 4th piece. So that's all done, ready to rock. And needs to be trimmed so when we get there. All right, so we're going to flop that off to the side. So yay, we're ready. Now to add our 2 panel pieces on the side. Okay, so when I measured this after I had put my black on, I measured here, I measured here, and I measured there. And that gave me 44 1/4. Okay, so, and of course I cut a nice big 6-inch piece. You can do whatever you like, 6, 12, 8, whatever, makes you happy, and then sew them to either side, okay? Oops, I had one pin just fly right off there, so be careful, Munchkin, if you walk to my right. Okay, no, just careful, you didn't have to go get it, but okay, whatever. I was probably thinking, get it now before it gets in the foot. right, so let's pin those. Pin this panel piece down, or this piece down here, this border piece, not panel piece, sorry. Border to the panel, okay, and then we'll just lay it out. It's best to lay out on a nice flat surface. It really is. It helps to pin one side, then the next, and then you're working your way like a little bit in, and then a little bit in, and a little bit in, depending on the size of project you're working on, okay? So that's one side. Let's get the other side here. Okay. Lay this up against. And like I said, you can do whatever you like. I thought of also, why not having them cut on angles? Like, what's preventing us from doing cut on angles and doing the same piece, but up on an angle? You know, like, only limitation is our imagination. So, you know, think you want to do something weird and wonky? Go for it. Show me pictures. I'm all there for you. Alright, so I'm just going to get another couple pins, probably 2 pins, just to make sure I'm secure in getting these 2 sides sewn down. Okay. Here and here, and then we will press and measure for the top bits, okay? Alright. It seems like Mr. Clive Magoo is causing Munchkin a whole bunch of stress at the moment. If we only had a third camera to pan down to his feet, you would see the destruction Mr. Clive is causing on Munchkin's pant legs. Not that it's funny, I'm sorry, I know what it's like. He's crazy cat. He was outside this morning, but it's not like he's been into the catnip or anything. Sorry, itchy arm. Okay. So just a 1/4 inch seam allowance, on all sides. I didn't change it at all. I try to stick with that as much as possible. The only thing I find that if we change that 1/4 inch seam allowance is when you're making bags, dresses, maybe even like a table runner or something like that, or cushions. Cushions need like a 1/2 inch seam allowance to allow for possibly a double stitch down to secure it. So yeah, you know, those are all things to consider. Most times when you're making an outfit, like if you grab a pattern from your fabric store, you're looking at 5/8. So be aware of that. Everybody's different. So quilting, it's pretty much a common 1/4 inch seam allowance, okay? And that really plays most essential effective when you're doing paper piecing, you know? It really, really, really does. We've got quite a few artists that post in our Mama Pop Quilt Shop Mafia group. They're paper piecing, their artwork, their everything, and they're very, very talented, and it's so nice to see their artwork. And you know, of course, we get to know each other via the chats and just the group itself, and you know what you're working on, what you do, what's your garden look like. I want to see your garden too. We love our garden. You know, you got munchkins you love. I meant like the furry ones. You know, take pictures of those too. I'm all for it. We're a very encouraging group, kind of like your own little crew. Everybody gets to know everybody. You know, we have so many different time zones. We got like Copenhagen and Germany and Israel and Rome and Australia. People from all over, and they're posted at all times of the day. It's fantastic. Sorry, I'm a bit of a Leadfoot Larry. It's like, get her done! Alright, okay, now, did you do the other side of it? Oh, I did. Ooh, I'm ahead of the game. Alright, now I'm going to press this. Okay, see? I've got that little tiny border separating my panel, and then these 2 side bits, okay? So I'm just going to press these. Oh, I like that gold next to the black. Is that ever pretty? Oh, lovey, lovey, lovey. Lovey, lovey, lovey it. Beauty, fellas. Yeah, press this nice and good. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. All right, now this one. And you don't have to cut it. If you just like this idea of putting bulking out a panel, like a kid's panel for a birthday gift, or you know, whatever, Christmas, or just because you love them, you know, this is a great idea too. Just a, you know, a little strip to accent, to give that little frame, and then a bigger frame to make it even that much more prominent. Okay, so now I'm going to measure. I'm going to measure this edge, the middle, and the other edge. Okay, and get the average. Okay, so right here on my edge here, all the way here, not stretching it, not yanking it, not tweaking it, just gently holding it where I need it to be, picking a nice straight line. It looks like I'm at 35 1/4. Okay, so now I'm going to go in the center, about as center as you can get. I mean, you know, try and make sure it's as close to thereof. Right on the line, letting it sit there. Oh, looks like 35 1/2. Okay, and then the other one. Hopefully I didn't get the same one twice. That's about 1/4. I probably did get 1/4. Okay, hold on. Let's do the other side. I'm not sure which one I grabbed first, so my mistake. So it looks like 35 1/4. So that's what we cut the top at, 35 1/4, okay? So I've got 2 strips right here, one for my top and one for my bottom. I've got it laid out on my line, right at the 0, coming all the way to 35 1/4, and I'm lopping that off, okay? And now this is going to be my top and my bottom, okay? So top and bottom, pin up, sew, and then we cut and sew some more, okay? Like if the cutting part of the panel scares you, or it's so pretty like it was with the wolf and you don't want to cut it up, totally understand. So, you know, these are for ones that you're not quite sure what to do with, and since I have a whole roll of them, a whole bolt of them, I think I have about 15, I wanted to figure out what to do with it. So I gave one away at our last not giveaway. Actually, no, I did give one away, and then one was for an auction, and one was bought. So I have a few left. All right, so there's that one. Let's turn it to the other side and pin. Okay, and other side. And pin, and flop it out, pin, and pin. Okay, there we go. I think we're okay for that. Let's go those 2 sides sewing, and then we'll press and we'll cut. If you want to. You don't have to. After that, you can be done. If you want to bulk it out a little more, another tiny little border and another big bulk of color too, I think would be lovely. If you just wanted to do like tiny, big, I think that would be neat. And hopefully you join us tomorrow for Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We are in Ontario, Canada, and we do a live stream. And tomorrow we're starting the star braid, or French star braid pattern, and that is busting all the colors of your scraps. All the colors. Okay, so that's the top done. Let's get the bottom done, or whatever. That was the bottom, this is the top. I don't know. Oops, here goes pencil. Please tell me a pencil. Okay. 2. Okay, take that one out. Alright, give a little press after this. And then comes the either nerve-wracking part, scary part, or you just, as the words of the cable guy, just, you know, get her done. Go for it and get her done. here. Don't think I have any more. We're good to go. Okay, we're pressing these two. Press, press, press. Press, press, press. Here, let's look at it first. There we go. Isn't that pretty? That's lovely. It's looking lovely. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, we'll press, and then we'll lay it out, and we'll cut it. It's very exciting. Like I said, you don't want to cut it, stop here. You know, and you got yourself a nice, good size piece. Okay. It's great for a baby quilt, great for a wall hanging, especially if you had a very much a nature panel, like the owl, the deer, you know, something like that. You know, that would be very cool. Very nice. That looks very sharp against each other there. Very cool. All right. Okay, so I'll hold that up for a second so you can get a look at it. Okay. Isn't that pretty? I love that. It's beautiful just that way. I may have to do another one just like this so you can see what it is before and then what it looks like afterwards. Okay, now I'm going to take it to the board here and cut it. Okay. And my idea was to have, oh, I think I had it on the other page here. What was my measurements? 6 and 8. So you cut 6 inches up and then 8 inches up. And I'm only counting from the edge of the panel piece up. I'm not counting from the bottom. If I kept from the bottom, I'd be cutting off the bottom here, and that's not what I wanted. So my idea was to have 6 inches. I think it was 6 and 8. Or it was 5. Actually, it was 5 and 8. That's what it was. I changed that. It was 5 and 8. Okay. So I need my big ruler. Put my small one off to the side. We're going to level this out as much as we can. Okay. Put some pins in on your seams and stuff so you know you're nice and straight. You don't want any wonky cuts. The last thing you want at this stage of the game here is a couple of wonky cuts. Okay, so put some pins up where you're obviously not going to run through them with your rotary cutter. Okay, but you're keeping things nice and even and level. Okay, and you can go and make those crucial cuts. So I'm going to do one side and then the other side, okay? So I know this is nice and flat. I'm going to have this edge up here on one of my lines, so I know I'm getting a nice straight line. I'm moving it up so I can see the numbers down here nice and clean and all the way up to the top, okay? Okay. All right, so I'm going to move that seam, this seam right here that I've attached my black and my purple together, I am moving that onto one nice straight line. So I know if I go count 5 inches over from there and I make a cut straight up and then 8 inches over from there and cut straight up, okay? All right. So that is on the line, and I'm confirming with my ruler too that that seam, I can feel it, and it's all the way up on that line. I'm very pleased with that. So I'm going to cut at 34. Well, it's just the way it is, inches from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So nice and level. Making sure this ruler here is also lined up on a straight line as here as well. So you're not guessing, and you're not going off on an angle, you're not going all crazy like. Okay, so there's the 5. And I know this is 6, and I'm going to move it over 2. So 7, 8, so that's 26. And of course I like to be on this side of it, so I'm going to line up on 26 and cut. Okay, so that's, I need to put a purple strip in between this piece here, oh, put that there, and this piece here, okay? And we know that these are what, 35, what were we looking at, 35 and a half, right? 35 and a half, so we know we have to cut these pieces at 35 and a half. Okay, so I know that's my bottom, that's my middle. I'm gonna put that one there, and this one here, just so I'm not getting confused, and moving my whole project down so I can work from the left to the right now. Making sure, again, I have this seam up on a nice straight line all the way up to the top, and I'm going in 5 inches. Come on, there we go. Come here, you. There. Ruler was not cooperating. All the way up, straight line on the board as well. There we go. 5. And then from here, it's 6, 7, 8, and cut. And then my other 2 pieces are going to go in there. Okay, so now I know that's my middle. That's my other end. And here and here. So, all right, I want to make sure I'm cutting these pieces all to 35.5, okay? Very essential. And then we're going to sew them in between little bits. And then we're done. It'll look so darn cool. All right, back over here. Mr. Magoo's being a pain in the rumpicus, aren't you? Oh, one more. I was like, wait a second, there's only 3 there. Come in, you're late for the party. Don't be late for the party. All right, so let's make sure we have well over the 0 mark here. That's the 0. Want to make sure I'm hanging over there. And I'm hanging over here. Just don't be hanging out somewhere. All right, so 35.5. That's extra bits. You can save that for something. Save it for border, another border piece, or save it for another project, whatever. Okay, ruler lined up on the 0. Fingers are out of the way. It is a bit thick here, so I'm going to go twice. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Our pieces in between. All right, so I don't want to get confused, so I'm going to leave him and him there. And then I'm going to put him here and him over there. Okay, all right, let's get going. We'll put this last project together here. Okay. Plop that there. And here. And here. Oh, it's going to look so good. You're going to be so surprised. Okay, and then when, of course, I get to close to the other end, I'm lining these guys up, and then I'm making sure everybody's snug together, kind of in the pool sort of thing, to the very end, okay? Or you can put pins in. That is completely up to you. You do what is best for you. Don't let anybody tell you different. Okay, so that's 1. Okay, so we got that one. Now we get the other piece, which this should be it. Oops, with the pin in it. Okay, which goes to this side. Okay. Let's make sure I am doing that correctly here. Okay. So I'm going to be doing this way. So yes, this is the bottom. This is the landscape. Here's the bottom of the tree. I'm working my way from the bottom up. That's the way you got to do it in life. Work your way from the bottom up. All right, I'll put 1 pin up here just to make sure I'm all nice and straight as I'm getting going here. Just make sure you got your pieces in the right way. Put some masking tape on it, painter's tape, label it, whatever you got to do. You know, there's many ways. There's Post-it notes. There's just plain old scrap paper and some pins, you know, whatever you need. Line that up, snug as a bug in a rug. Okay. Okay, you can see how it's looking so far. Pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to add that other piece on top here before we add the middle panel piece, okay? So we're just lining it up. These don't matter which way they go because they're both the same. You can flip them, flop them, whatever. these pieces here, the middle pieces. But if you had something that maybe was directional, you'd really have to consider that. Like say if you had like flowers or a pattern on the inside here, you'd want to make sure they were all going the same way. You wouldn't want anything to be upside down because that would take your eye away from the whole project, I think. You know, the whole design would be like, okay, all I can see is those one flowers upside down. And sometimes that's all that people see, you know. Okay. It's a smoking hot weekend again here, but I got us some shady furniture for Pop as a surprise, so at least we can sit outside and be quite shaded by the sun. We're not in the direct sunlight, so that was very nice. And it looks good. It's the first time we've ever bought patio furniture. Feel like an adult now. Whoa, whoa. Alright, so here's our bottom to our other row, and I'm just going to give this a quick press, okay? While this is here, give that a quick press before I build out the other sides, okay? I wanted to show you what the panel looked like before I started cutting into it, so you understood the whole process behind this design, okay? Something unique, like why not? Not everything has to be the same. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to work on my top end to the middle, okay? So let's lay these guys out here. There's my top. I'll lay that one there. Let's get these two pinned. Okay, and then this also would be, oops, there's a pin in there. Of course there is. Don't be silly. Oh, that goes this way, right? Yes, it does. Okay, don't want to make any boo-boos. This is the upside down part, and this totally looks wanked. Okay, so here we go. Pin that there, and pin this here, and then we'll add the center bits. And that'll be our project. So we only have like a couple more seams to do here, okay? We really appreciate you liking and subscribing and watching and sharing and giving a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. And check us out on Patreon. And then this one, and then it'll be add the middle one. But we'll sew these two side bits together first. The two pieces that I cut, we'll sew those together with their respective sections. And then we will sew the two to the middle part. Okay. So I have not done one of these before, but to me, it didn't seem like it would not look good. You know what I mean? So just drawing it out, sketching it out, got a little inspiration from one of the Northcott quilts or wall hangings that they had going on their website. It was not a free pattern, so I couldn't find a free pattern for it, so sorry. So yeah, this is what I came up with. So go me. Alright, so that is the top because the border's there, and then this would be here because it's feeding up from the bottom of the tree to the top. So this and this go here, and then we will press. Okay. Let's just double check here. Yes, it is. Okay. You just never know until you double check. Hopefully you guys like Pop's block of the month. Wasn't that beautiful? The mirrored maze. Quite intricate and seems complicated, but really it's 9 of the same squares, just flipped and flopped. It's beautiful. And the squares are really easy to put together. And I could see a whole quilt in this. In that pattern, I really, really can. So who's going to do it? I want to see it. Now I like it when he takes the block and he try and makes a big quilt out of it, because I said, you know, some people maybe not like every block. Maybe they'll love one block more than the next and want to make a whole quilt out of it. He's like, would they want to? And I'm like, I think they might. So, you know, give them that option visually and let them decide. It's like, all right. So that's why he does it every time when he does the designing and the construction of the block itself. Okay, so there's our top parts. I'm gonna have my top part right. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to give that a press like I did the other one. Okay, and then we'll add them both to the middle piece, and then we're all done. Beautiful and quick project. Really not long at all. You get all your bits cut, and you're rocking it. All right. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Now hopefully I didn't make anybody upside down. There's no way to get it sideways, so, you know, at least deters one error. All right, so now this will be the top. This will be the middle. Maybe go over there. Oh, other way. Yep. Okay, so we're going to flip this here and sew it on this side. And of course, because this is bigger fabric, it's not just a couple little pieces, I want to make sure they're not going to slip away from me. Okay. So I'm putting a pin at each corner. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to attach the bottom. And so those last two seams, and we are finished this beautiful panel project. And I hope you make one. Or I'd like to see what you do with your panel. There's so many different ways, right? It's nice to be able to see something different or new, or something you hadn't thought of before, or if I've given you an idea throughout the chatting of all this, then, you know, fantastic. That's kudos to everybody. Okay, all right, 2 more seams. Bippity boppity bo bee beam. Okay. Now make sure everybody's kind of just, nothing's tugging anything else. It's nice and smooth. Fluff up underneath if you need to. Okay, doo-doo. Pins there. Make sure everybody all lined up. Okay, and one more. Okay, two, and hopefully I didn't mess this up. All right, one more. And I think this would work well with even the geometric shape ones that I have. I think it's the triangles and stuff. That would be really kind of cool to just kind of chop that up a bit too. Maybe that's the one you do on the angle and make it a little different with a white stripe in the middle or something like that. Break up all the black in color because there's no white in it. That's the breakup, is the strip of white, right? Okay, coming to the end. Okay, I'll make sure there's a little spot here. Yeah, I got a little close on the end there. So if you look there, it's really, really close to the stitching. So, and I want to, or the edge of the fabric, and that I don't want. For some reason, I thought I'd lost it on that little edge there. So sorry. Delayed a fraction of a moment's here. I need to fix that before I continue, or it's not going to stay together, and that's not what I want. Okay. Coming about an inch before and an inch after, and just going to try and straighten that black fabric up next to the purple. You can see that there's quite a gap there, and we don't want that, because eventually that black would just pull through the threads, the fibers of the quilt, or the top there, the border, and just, you know, you have a hole. We don't want that. Not with all our hard work. We can take just a few more moments here to fix that up. Okay. Sing the same ripping song. It's my best friend. Okay, there we go. And let's flip that back around so I can see exactly where I need to be stitching. Okay, there we go. Much, much better. Okay. All right, now let's do a little pressing here, and then I will show you this beautiful project. Okay. Like I said, thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing. And of course, I missed another bit right here. Snaggle fraggins. Okay. Refix! Refix. You just wanted to hang out longer today, didn't you? These are things that happen, right? These are things that happen whenever you're sewing. It's just what it is, right? Even you saw that I pinned, but fabric shifts. Fabric, it's so shifty. Go watch that fabric. All right, fix that. And then back to pressing. Okay, easy fix. It's right on the edge. Go. Okay, a little bit more. Down the other panels. There we go. And that is how I've blocked out my panel. What do you think of that? Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow for the live stream. Bye, everybody. Take care.